Good evening, Panthers. It's Assistant Coach Trev here, coming at you from the beautiful executive suites of AFL House, and I'm joined by the 2024 AFL Cup won by the Brisbane Lions. Obviously, Al and Scott usually do the newsletters, but I've been left in charge this week. I thought we'd do it a little bit different. We're actually going to interview the game umpire from Sunday. So he'll come in shortly, give you a brief rundown on how well the boys performed, and I'm sure you'll love it. Umpire Trev, please come in. Thanks for that warm introduction, Assistant Coach Trev. Hi guys, I'm Umpire Trev. I was lucky enough to officiate the game on Sunday v Wallan. I'd like to thank Coach Al, Coach Scott, and again, Assistant Coach Trev for inviting me down to AFL House where the umpires are actually training today, so it worked out quite well. Now, I hope you don't mind, I've brought some notes about Sunday's game. It helps me focus on exactly what transpired on the day. Now, before I discuss Eltham's performance, I'd like to congratulate Wallan for their remarkable engineering skills in designing and constructing a full-size football oval inside a wind tunnel. It truly is a remarkable feat of engineering. Now, at the start of the game, I ushered the two captains to the centre. Lo and behold, I forgot the coin, so a fierce game of rock, paper, scissors ensued. Now, Wallan won the bout and chose to kick with the Hurricane to their back. From the first bounce, the ruck contest proved to be lopsided, all one way Eltham. Mason P took his aviation skills to new heights and dominated the centre square. Carter, Archie and Jax were on the receiving end of multiple pinpoint tap-outs, and it wasn't long before the statisticians were calling for additional sheets of paper to continue tallying up the stats. Miller got a lot of the ball early, and I found out quickly as an umpire, it's difficult to follow that little red-headed flasher around the ground when he's got the ball in his hand. That being said, he helped me get my steps up that day. I got my 20,000 steps by quarter time. Thanks, Miller. Between the big and small forwards, Birthday Boy Cohen and Tyler B, I lost counts of how many times I had to say, all clear, to the goal umpire. They kicked a bag between them and they were kept well fed from the mids up the ground. Rowdy, which is Mason B, Silk and Zachy were lively up forward. So much so that I had nightmares about the number 5 that night. All I could think about was number 5, number 15, number 55. They were going past me all the time. Anytime there was a football, there those three were. In the third quarter, now, I remember the backline played superb in gale force wins. Max M, JB and Christian battled hard with the inconsistent football flying in at breakneck speed. At one point, Marcus was so in his tackle zone that he tried to take me down until he realised I wasn't a Wallan magpie. Also, Jedi, Butch and Prime took some super important marks across the half-back line, completely shutting down the Wallan offensive. Now remember, Wallan had the wind in the third quarter and that back line proved invaluable. Now, whilst I'm on the third quarter, the other end of the ground was almost impossible to score at, thanks to Hurricane Hugo. Yet, the Panthers proved nothing can stop them. With a beautiful passage of play out of the back line, Jerry took possession well outside of the 50-metre arc. With one bounce, with two bounces, with three bounces, he left the Magpies in his wake as he kicked the bladder out of the Sharon against the wind. He sent it through the big sticks for a major all clear again it was. I was completely exhausted having to chase him the whole length of the ground just to give that all clear. Well done, Jerry. It's always nice running though with the wind at your back, and that's what it was like in the final quarter. Cooper provided a great option up forward. Huddy was also in fine form, up the forward line sniffing for a goal, until the coaches reminded him he was actually playing in the back line that quarter. I told him to blame it on the wind, constantly pushing him up the ground. Tommy D and Odie played their role well, and they are getting a reputation for being reliable and, most importantly, consistent with their footy. Now, when these two awesome-looking sweatbands were held aloft at the final siren at the conclusion of the game, the Panthers got the win. Wallan were left wondering why the home ground Hurricane advantage hadn't paid off. And I must say, it was an absolute pleasure to umpire such a high standard of football. And I commend the players on the respect shown towards the interim umpire, Well done, boys. That concludes my brief rundown of your little champions. I'll pass you back to your coaches. See you next game, boys. Thanks for that, Umpire Trev. Well, guys, that concludes our newsletter for this week. Before I go, I just wanted to say I'm back. I've missed a few weeks with musical commitments, so I just wanted to extend a very big thank you to Coach Al and Coach Scott for doing all the extra heavy lifting while I was gone. I know what it's like when you're a man down, so thank you very much. And also a big thank you to Jay and Matt for stepping in my absence. That being said, guys, I'm back. So I'm back to my assistant coach role. I've got the rotations in hand, a fresh set of eyes to work all that out. And that leaves Coach Al and Coach Scott to do exactly what they do best. What do you two guys do again?